Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I have taken up another challenge. You guys know me by now. I like to do these crazy setups that you guys suggest every once in a while, and today isn't necessarily a crazy suggestion, but I'm going to be using the MP443 Pistol. I've been getting a lot of requests recently to do a pistol-only video, and since I'm always talking about the MP443 and how it's very trusty to me, that I should give it a go and jump onto a server against, a normal server with people that are using all of their primary weapons. And so not jumping into a pistol-only server, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of this challenge. And so I wasn't exactly sure how I would do. I mean, I've done pistol-only videos in the past, but they're usually with weapons or pistols that do a lot of damage. I think I did one for the Magnum or the M1911. And those weapons, while they do have their disadvantages, one of the strengths of them is that they hit really hard. And so even if you are going against someone who was using a primary weapon, you can usually get by just because of the high damage model of the weapons. But the MP443 doesn't hit as hard as them, and so I wasn't exactly sure how successful I was going to be. But this challenge was an absolute blast. I was destroying people. I went on some of the most ridiculous kill streaks that I probably shouldn't have deserved to go on, but it was truly amazing. So the MP443 kind of has average stats when you compare it to all of the other pistols in the game. It's going to do 25 damage up close a shot, and then as you move further and further away and you get to its lowest damage, it's going to do 13.75. So you're going to want to use this up close. I mean, that makes sense. This is a pistol weapon. You're not going to want to try sniping people from a distance, and those stats just verify that type of gameplay. It also has a decent rounds per minute. It's going to have an RPM of 400, which is once again very average. It's not the worst. The worst would be the Magnum clocking in at 180, and then the best is the G18, which I believe is 900 rounds per minute. So it's, once again, very average in that department. But what's nice about this weapon is that, at least for me, it just feels really consistent. And I think one of the contributing factors of that is that it has 18 rounds in its magazine, so it gives you a lot of room for error, and it gives you plenty of bullets to take out even multiple targets if you're on fire and your accuracy is true. But also, its recoil is extremely manageable. I mean, it's not going to deviate onto the left or the right very significantly. It has a very low first shot initial recoil, so it's really easy to manage this weapon. And one of the nice aspects of it is basically if you find an enemy, all you really have to do is aim for like their upper chest or their neck and fire 2 or 3 shots off, and because of the headshot multiplier and just because that very slight recoil, you aim right there, the second bullet is going to give you a headshot, and you can drop your target technically in 2 rounds, but usually just 3 shots and you're good to go. And if you are really accurate and you can pull that off on multiple targets, you're going to drop people fairly quickly, at least within close range engagements. And that was kind of what I was trying to do when I was playing on Strike at Karkin. I had just this ridiculous kill streak where I actually ran out of ammunition by the end of it. I was just running around all over the place, and it could have been due for many reasons, and I think maybe some of the enemies that I was going against were kind of clueless and weren't exactly sure what was going on at times, but I was trying to be extremely aggressive and to try to take my enemies by surprise. And that's kind of how you want to play with a close encounter weapon in general, is you want to just get in there and take advantage of the weapon stats. And because, of course, the MP443 is a close encounter weapon, I just really tried to get up in people's grill and take advantage of it. Another thing I was trying to take advantage of is that the MP443 has a very fast reload time. Its short reload is 1.35 seconds, so if you have a bullet still in the chamber, it's going to be very quick. But even if you go through your entire rounds, it's only going to take you 1.6 seconds, and so you always feel like you're ready to go. And even if you aren't able to take out that target, you can just quickly pop behind a corner or something like that. They're assuming you're going through a really long animation with their primary weapon. They get really aggressive on you, and then you're just popping right back out. They're through the kind of that sprint animation. They're not ready for it, and then you're able to take them out. I can't tell you how many times I slayed my enemies simply because I caught them off guard, because I think they were assuming that I was reloading, but because I was using, of course, a pistol, I was ready to go in just basically under a second. And so I tried to take advantage of that as much as I possibly could. So as you guys can imagine, the reason why this was difficult and the reason why this was a challenge was because, of course, the MP443 is a secondary weapon, and I'm going to be going against players who are using primary guns. And then when that's all you have, I'm not saying the MP MP443 is a bad gun by any means, but when that's all you are using and you're always going against people that are using primaries, it's not going to be easy to go on kill streaks. And that's, you know, what makes this also so much fun, is when you do go on those kill streaks, you know that you did that with just your pistol, with just your secondary weapon. And so what it required me to do is I had to be on, and I had to be really accurate. And as I said, if I was really on my game and I was able to get a bunch of headshots, I could take out multiple targets with one magazine. And so if I was able to make everything work, if my accuracy was just dead on, I was competing with people that were even using high rate of fire weapons. I was taking them by surprise, as I mentioned before. I was able to get a couple of headshots off, and I was dropping people where I could clearly see they were using M16A3s, they were using the F2000, the AEKs, and the satisfaction of taking them out and taking them out consistently with the MP443 is just awesome. So overall, I loved this challenge, and I realized it wasn't my normal crazy setups like using the EOD bot by itself or shooting mines to slay my enemies, but I thought it was a nice change of pace from what I normally do, and it definitely wasn't easy by any means, but pulling it off, it was just so satisfying, and I'm definitely glad that I did it. But that is about it for today's video, guys. If you have a terrible weapon setup that you would like me to try next, let me know down below in the comment section. Also, make sure to thumbs up the ones you would also like me to try. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.